We acknowledge the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation as the traditional custodians of the land on which Al, Kate and all their mates is recorded. Always was, always will be. You're listening to Al, Kate and all their mates. I'm Alex Leahy.
And I'm Kate McCarthy.
And on today's episode, we speak to our mate, Daisy Thomas.
Dale Daisy Thomas is the only footballer to have ever played 100 games for Collingwood and Carlton. A 2010 Premiership player for the Pies, sorry Al, an All-Australian and just a full-time legend. Daisy is now a favourite colleague of mine at both Triple M and Channel 7.
We get to talk to Daisy about the surreal start to his footy career.
Al finally gets to ask about what exactly happened at the 2010 Grand Final draw.
And Daisy tells us about how special it was to be a part of this year's Big Freeze for MND.
So get ready for another episode of Al, Kate and our mate Daisy Thomas. Welcome back to another episode of Al, Kate and all their mates with our mate Daisy Thomas.
What up? I feel like we've done this before.
I know, this is crazy. Thanks so much for coming in, dude.
Thank you very much for having me. Great to finally be here.
It is great to have you here, Days. One of my favourite people in the world and also absolutely my favourite colleague. Like, I'm just ranking you.
That's
you're,
amazing.
You're my favourite
And
colleague.
Kate does hate everyone.
That's one thing we have in common.
That's why we're such good mates. And we do like to start things with how we know our mate.
Yep.
And I think back to when I moved to Melbourne, and I didn't realise at the time, it was actually, I moved to Melbourne the year after you had retired from footy. So 2020, yes.
Yeah.
And so you started at Triple M when I'd moved down from Brisbane to Melbourne and also started on Triple M in Melbourne.
Yep.
So I was doing a bit of work up there in Brisbane, moved down here, and we would spend every Saturday night together in the Triple M commentary box and just had an absolute blast.
Like how all good love stories start.
Exactly. Yeah,
Yes,
just
made for
Saturday
each
nights to start with, and then from there you explore the possibilities.
Sometimes maybe Thursday.
And I think one of my favourite stories and the origin of our nickname for each other, which is
Sweetie.
Sweetie, comes
Yes,
from
mate.
our time in, I think it's probably the MCG Media Centre because it's far more
the big
open
one.
than the Marvel one. And I would be sitting out at the tables prepping for the game with you. We'd be sitting, chatting, and then people from all walks of life and other media boxes walk through that area. And they would, obviously Days just retired. Days is a cult figure in football. There's no denying that. Oh, Daisy, how are you, mate? A big handshake and how's everything going? Talking. And then like I'm just sort of awkwardly there. And then they sort of look at me and they're like, oh, g'day, sweetie. Or, hi, love.
Hey, sweet.
Oh, hi, darl. Nice to meet you.
Hey, boys.
Yeah. Oh.
Sweetie.
And it's just like, it was just like one of the most awkward things ever. And we've just loved it ever since. And
we lent right into it.
we did.
Yes.
Yeah. And we are each other's sweeties.
Yeah, and that is correct. And that's obviously coming through with you has been a great deal of fun, but it was obviously those early times that sitting there and, you know, people obviously coming up and saying hi. It's like, oh, this is Kate. And they sort of panic and, there's a girl in here. What's going on?
What do I do?
Say something unoffensive. Sweetie. Shit. The panic in faces was quite funny at the start. But now I will have you know that when we sit in the MCG media boxes and we do our preparation, people come running up to K-Mac and call me Sweetie. So it's gone
Sweetie now.
It's gone full circle, which is good.
I'm loving this this work-wife vibe that we've
Yeah.
got going on.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. I've always kind of wanted a husband, kind of.
Yeah, I've got a wife. And I think I also want a husband.
Oh, well, let's get started with this. Can't stop, won't stop. Days, do you have a can't stop, won't stop, or a needs to stop for us?
Needs to stop.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Needs to stop talk about Essendon coaches. Probably me as much as anyone, because the logic I'm bringing to an emotional topic is pissing a lot of people off, and I'm fine with that. But yeah, the past couple of weeks have been fun. That needs to stop. Us giving away the Commonwealth Games, that needs to stop.
Yeah.
Potholes in roads needs to stop. Lying about what taxes we're paying needs to stop. And what needs to start is taxing gas. But anyway, that's just a few things that are sort of bubbling away.
You finally got your needs
great.
to stop guest.
Yeah,
Oh,
thank
is
you.
this not
Yeah,
common?
it's good. Yeah,
Ah.
I'm
it's always
usually
like-
the only one that complains.
Yeah, I don't complain a lot, but there's like just shit that digs away at me.
Yeah.
And now obviously TikTok and Instagram, and you can go down rabbit holes,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
spiral.
Have you got one for us, Al?
Yeah, I guess like my can't stop, I suppose, is that I, after many, many years, went to IMAX the other week.
Oh.
And IMAX rocks. Like
The
the massive
movie,
giant movie
yeah.
screen thing.
What did you watch?
I went and saw Top Gun Maverick.
Oh.
Right.
They were screening it at the cinema, and a couple of friends and I were like, let's go. And it was like in the middle of a day on a Tuesday. There was no one in the cinema. We had the entirety of IMAX to ourselves. The only other person in the cinema was this one guy who, I kid you not, opened his laptop and logged into work and kept the laptop open while the movie was
He was
running.
WFC, work from cinema.
It was fully work from cinema.
Jesus.
WFI, work from home.
Good
It was
on
great.
him.
But Top Gun Maverick, I mean, great film.
So is IMAX just the massive screen, or is it like the 4D immersive
No,
experience?
it's just the massive screen. Yeah. It
Can you get up when Top Gun Maverick came out?
yeah.
came out like 2022.
2022.
Yeah, 2022.
And it's just made it to IMAX.
They just screened it in IMAX and it rocked. And I remember watching it the first time. I remember the first time I watched Top Gun Maverick.
Just for the people listening along, could you say what day and date it is today?
Well, it's
Doesn't matter.
It's late 2026.
I saw Top Gun Maverick for the first time in 2022 because I was in a heat wave and my place had no air conditioning at the time. And my partner and I were like, what's the longest film on at the cinema right now so we can sit in air conditioning? And it was Top Gun Maverick. And thankfully it was a good film.
And that's why Work from Cinema Man went there to get
The work from
longest-
cinema thing was so funny.
Maybe he needed free Wi-Fi. Do you get that
I don't
in the
know.
movies?
He sort of like opened the laptop and it had all this like code stuff on it. So I guess he was like a tech dude. And then
Yeah.
he just like put the laptop to the side but kept it open so he was logged on and then watched the movie.
It reminds me of the little hack I found in COVID when people were working from home, and you can download a program or you can buy it from Amazon and it's a USB and it moves your mouse. So people, when they're on Teams for work, they need to be active to look like they're working. So you open Teams and you put the little USB stick in and it moves your mouse. So you're like, at no point does your computer go sort of offline. Yeah, life hack.
Smart.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't use that. That can be my can't stop, won't stop though. People should know about that.
People should know
They
about that.
absolutely should know about it. So there you go.
It's like when Homer Simpson left the bouncing thing. Who left
Exactly.
the charge? Anyway,
On the
maybe it's
enter
not.
key.
Yeah,
Amazing.
you got it, thank you.
Oh no, I get the Simpsons
Yeah,
references.
good.
Don't
Oh, yeah.
worry, I'm your
Great.
guy. I'm your
Great.
guy. Well, having grown up in Melbourne, Daisy,
Mm-hmm.
I remember very, very clearly when you became the new guy in the villa and you came on the scene and it was a big deal, dude. It was very, very exciting, to the point that I remember very clearly that there was a girl in my English class, I think she was in, and she was a Richmond supporter
Right.
until you came along, and then she became a Pie supporter.
Wow,
Mm-hmm.
that's big.
You turned her.
Yes, have that effect. No, yeah, look, it was crazy. I was just a young kid from the bush, essentially, about an hour out of Melbourne, and moved down. And when you get drafted to Collingwood, you soon realise, well, you always know how big the club is from sort of an external point of view, but I guess the notoriety that comes with playing for them, and obviously, you know, blonde bombshell comes into the villa. That was meant the
Your
blonde.
words.
Yeah, very quickly it becomes a very big sort of deal, and you have to navigate that, which wasn't overly easy if I'm being
Yeah, I was
completely
gonna
honest.
say, what was the adjustment like? I mean, I can imagine it was a shock.
Yeah, it was weird for a few reasons. I guess the first being from a small-ish country town. If people spoke to you down the street, generally you knew them. So that took a bit of adjusting, that people would stop and chat and I'd give them 10 minutes, and it's taken me 2 hours to get to the shops because I've stopped for just Collingwood supporters and didn't realise I didn't know anyone. It was just a genuine chit-chat. But the other thing was, as sort of a kid growing up and hoping to be playing AFL football, and almost, you know, you dream of, oh, people knew you and, you know, whatever it may be. Then realising when that's what you're actually doing, and, you know, people would come up at dinner and things like that, and it was like, geez, I'd almost give anything just to
Yeah.
not be known in a weird way. So there's no rule book on fame, if you will,
Yeah.
or how to handle that, which is probably why I empathise with so many of these kids coming through it, your Bailey Smiths and alike, who get thrown in the deep end, and then people just say good luck, and then are quick to cut them down when they may stuff up.
Yeah, I mean, the other day I was at the pub and, well, actually it was, I'm going to say it was a while ago before the season started. I was at the pub and just like sitting on the table near us was like Max Gorn, Langford, Melksham, like a bunch of the Dees guys just, it was like a Sunday afternoon having a hang. And it was like they were in like a fishbowl, and the amount of people that stopped them, it was kind of relentless. Yeah. And they were like such legends about it and being so kind and gave everyone time and a photo if they wanted it or whatever. But I was like, damn, that's a totally different way to, well, and especially like within Melbourne specifically, you know, like you were right in there. It's crazy.
You do obviously learn how to deal with it, but it's sort of one of those things you just get thrown in there in the deep end. It's like, okay, sink or swim, off you go, figure it out.
Are you pretty glad that you didn't also have that and social media at the same time? Because now like everyone has access to telling everyone exactly how they feel about them, whether it is sort of sliding into their DMs and abusing them or just tweeting about them, which then sometimes gets traction. Like, could you imagine doing what you had to go through and working out how to be an 18-year-old in the spotlight, but then also everyone almost having access to you whenever they want?
No, I'm also like with cameras how they are now. I'm not sure how long my career may have lasted. I sort of got I feel the last of, because no one had, and I'm going to sound like I'm 100 years old here, but like when I started, people had click cameras.
Yeah.
Like they wasn't on your phones, or they were just coming out, Blackberries or whatever it may have been. So when you were out, like people would actually have like ask for a photo and be genuinely grateful for it, because, they had however many they were going to run through on their night and then upload it to Facebook. And this was the grouse time we had at this place, and there was a couple of footballers there. How great. People would come up and chat. Whereas I feel now everyone's just a smart ass and wants to try and catch you out for doing something, or they want to come up and be a smart ass and wait for your reaction. Yeah. And that's not to me. That's more so to current day players. So, no, I couldn't imagine how tough that extra element would be. And as we know, like people online are horrible.
Yeah.
Like the Essendon stuff that I joke about, like I was not doing it to incite violence. It was just my genuine opinion about a group of people who were far too irrational and, anyway, whatever my take was. Wow.
Yeah.
Like, do they not, like the shit that came back at me, it's like, okay, not overly friendly, but fun. Yeah, I can cop it. I'll laugh it off, but wow.
I think it's just that problem that we have with social media being like a nameless, faceless platform. Right. Like I have never, like I've experienced a lot online that at times is really, really lovely and at times is really, really disgusting. And I'm sure everyone that has a public profile experiences it at some point. But I have never once been like abused in the street or told I'm shit at my job to my face. Yeah. Like it's this policy or this issue that we have with people not having to put their name or their face to anything, that then just, I mean, the phrase keyboard warrior is just so perfect for it, because they're happy to just type whatever they want, have no repercussion to what they say, to the point where it's been really nice where things have happened with football clubs and they've actually investigated who the person is that said it. Correct. And have cancelled their membership or banned them from club events and things like that. And I think until there is consequence for what you do or say online, it's not going to get any better or cleaner. And how there isn't like 100 points of ID when you sign up to a social media platform. Like, geez, how hard would that be? Everything else in the world you have to. But to your point, the fact, Jace Burgoyne at the minute has spoken out about some racism that he copped online, some heinous stuff, and now that's gone to court. The guy's going to be prosecuted and looking at potentially a jail term. Wow. And you might go, oh, geez, no, don't say it. If you're not going to say it, I think Mike Tyson said, social media has made you all forget that if you said this to someone's face, they'd punch you. Yeah, like... And to your point, it's so true. So or bite your ear off. And again, each to their own as to how you deal with it. But just how hard is it to be nice? It's really not that hard. No. Talking about your career, there were obviously massive highs. Like your first game, you're part of the elusive first kick, first goal club days. And I enjoy when we do a game and a debutant has a first kick, first goal, and you welcome them into the club. Yes. And then obviously Anzac Day was, I think, like your fourth or fifth game. Yeah. had a ripping game in that. There was a lot of highs. There were some lows as well. I know the injuries at the back part of your career was something that were really, really tough. Not what did you learn from it, but like you were a little bit further in your career, a little bit older. How did you handle a lot that was going on then?
Yeah, I sort of look back now and I try and figure out if I'm grateful for when they happened, like the fact that I had a really good run and start to my career that was purely beer and skittles, like 18 years old, get drafted to the biggest club in the land, play round 1, rising star round 2, like Anzac Day game 4, play in a final your first year. You don't miss finals until you leave. There's a premiership in there. You've played well within that premiership. It was a drawn, so you got to do it twice in 2 weeks. You lose a grand final the year later. Like it was literally everything that I dreamt of as a kid. It had been ticked off in 5 years. I was playing football to a level that, you know, I was super proud of and had worked my ass off to get to. And then sort of quickly it hits the skids through injury, which is something that I'd never dealt with. And again, no real handbook as to how you deal with it. And the way I played, when you have an ankle injury and you can't really run, you can't jump, you can't change direction, you can't kick, it sort of makes it hard to do football. And sort of, you know, couple that in with the change of coach that we had at the time, Michael Molkshouse over to Nathan Buckley, just how that all looked going to Carlton as well as that. It was a real, just a big clusterfuck, I think is probably the best way to describe it. From it, you know, looking back on when you're living it, it's your own reality and it's like, right, I'm pretty sure if I work my ass off, I'll get back. The injury will be fine. I'm going to Carlton because I haven't been offered a contract because I think my foot's cooked. You know, the reasons are this, and then you're publicly portrayed as a sellout who just followed the coach, which again, they're heroes out there. That's not exactly how everything happens, but yeah. So navigating all of that was tough, and as someone who would back in working hard to get back to play good footy, and that would be the thing that would turn it. When that wasn't happening, it was like, shit, what do we do now? So there was wild times. So certainly grateful for the first part, and like everything, when the shit hits the fan, you start to learn a lot more about yourself and figuring things out, I guess.
I think there's like such a misconception with footballers, like just as a like in layman's terms, where it's like this idea that as soon as you're in the system, it's easy to stay in the system as long as you want. You know, once you're in, you're in. But actually the reality of having like a long career in football, like whether you win flags or otherwise, just staying in the system is so hard. And I have a friend who's a musician, his name's Ben Lee, and he has this line which is like the difference between someone who has, you know, a moment in the music industry versus someone who has a life in music is other people who can survive the inevitable troughs of like that lifestyle.
Yeah.
And I've learned a lot about that during my time as a musician. I've also learned a lot about troughs as my lifetime as a Saints supporter. And
I apologise for 2010.
And I wanted to ask you about that. Like, what was your experience with the 2010 flag? I want to like tell me what you can.
Good time to get me. I just did a thing the other week at the MCG and they wanted me to talk about the difference between drawn grand final and replay grand final. So it is fresh somewhat in my mind, more so than usual. The first part of it was just like I was in such a sweet spot for how my career had trended. Like I was, 2010, 6, 7, 8, 9, 5 years in, 6 years in. So I'm 22 or 23, arguably, you know, in the sweet spot of playing the best footy that I had, 100 and however many games that into a career that is. We're in a side that's going to grand final day, like childhood dreams, like let's go. And my whole philosophy and, you know, for whatever reason, the way I was wired was never when it was a big game, whether it be my first Anzac Day or whatever, it was, this is all the shit you've ever dreamt of. Like, let's not sit here and go, oh, geez, what happens if we don't get a kid? It was like, let's go out and have fun. Like, you've dreamt of doing this. You know, what's the worst thing that can happen? You know, you've practiced this a billion times. Let's go and show everyone. So that was all my mentality. But yeah, like grand final weeks, unbelievable. Collingwood was getting like 25, 30,000 people to training. Then we did the old school route from the Arts Centre through Collins Street of the grand final parade. So like people hanging out of buildings, which was just like, it was full rock and roll. It was awesome. And then I remember we got presented up on stage at the Parliament House or whatever it is, and they got the captains to speak, and Nick Maxwell spoke, and then Nick Rewalt spoke. And as Nick went to speak, all the Collingwood fans started booing him. Ooh. And I was like, one, love the Collingwood fans, obviously, but I was like, shit, is this going to be one of those moments in time where it's like,
this
should we have
this
not,
poked
should we
the
have
bear.
not done that? Like, Christ almighty. Turns out it wasn't. But like those little things just, anyway. So yeah, the next day, perfect day, rock up, nervous as all shit, excited, go and play. Didn't realise until looking back that we were 4 goals up at halftime, 8 points up at three-quarter time. I knew, obviously, upon reflection, knew that the Saints were coming and closing the gap pretty quickly. And then obviously the famous moment with Stephen Milne, ball goes in, there's like a minute 40 on the clock. Ben Johnson gets turned inside out. I was the next player in, and I remember in that moment just going, fuck, there it is, like genuine goosebumps still. Like thinking for a split second, we lose. That's it. And then he stopped, the ball went right. It's like, fuck, all right, let's go. What do we do now? Let's draw. All right, figure it out. And I had a possession with like 14 seconds to go, right near the boundary line in front of the MCC members. And you can literally see, and I explain this to the people, I go to turn corridor, and I'm like, that's not it. Like, if you fuck that kick up, they go and score.
Yeah, that's it, yeah.
So then I was like, turn boundary, I was like, on my left foot, I'm like, don't put in the crowd. Like, and thankfully it went down the line, and that was, knocked out, as you would hope to do, and then ball comes in, draw. And like everyone, we sat there and went, what do we do? 100,000 people. I loved the game for the sense that it was so hard and tough. Like I was never the biggest, toughest player, but I feel for pound for pound, I had a crack, and that was memories of that day, which is like smash in ball and spill, smash in, and then to sit there at the end and be like, wow, like what's all that for?
How do we do that again?
Yeah. And Nick Maxwell spoke on the microphone straight away. He's like, this is bullshit. We should get a result. And I was like, cut him off. We will lose.
Yeah. I saw a thing recently where I think it was on the Howie games. You said we basically looked at it like we could not have played any worse.
Yep. In that second half.
And we didn't lose.
Yep.
Yet you felt like maybe the flip side and the St Kilda side of it is we couldn't play any better and we still didn't win. And that mindset sort of going into the next week held you guys in such good stead.
Yeah, it was literally they were like touching distance from the ball sitting and being kicked, and they win a grand final, and we were touching distance from a ball sitting and losing a grand final. And that was just sort of our mindset, that we were so lucky that we don't have to sit here as losers, and watch another side who've just won the grand final. And Mick Bolthouse, to his strength, he got up and gave a big rousing speech that this is just half time. There's usually 4 quarters, there's now 8, and you blokes are so lucky that this is, we're in front there, bang, bang, bang on, get yourselves right. And then we came out the next week and gave them a fair smacking. So
damn. So you come home after that drawn grand final. You got your bags. You walk through the front door. You drop them in the hallway.
No, we went to our function. Another little pivotal moment in this. So we had the option to go to the big supporter function at Crown. Obviously, we weren't allowed to get on the piss, but like sit with your family and friends, or just go home. And we said, you know what? What are you going to do? You're going to sit at home, sore as buggery, play it over in your head. Let's just go and stick together. Yeah. And Saints didn't do that. The Saints chose the we're going home option.
Yeah. Saints again making bad.
But like who knows at the time. But so it was bizarre. So almost by the time you got home, you'd had the full debrief. You'd almost laughed it off, and
on to the next.
Sunday rolls around, you're like, oh, well, 2 grand finals again in 7 days. This is grouse.
Yeah. Crazy. I remember it so clearly. It was like just before I finished year 12.
Yeah.
And I was going out with a girl who was a Collingwood supporter.
Oh, no.
Awful.
Did this end? Did this end it?
Oh, you're fucking oath.
Love you, but
we're done.
I love the whole time you've spoken about your footy career is, I've lived out my dreams. I did this, I did that, but I worked really hard. And that's the thing that I see from like knowing you and working with you. You are like very happy to be the funny guy at times, which you are. You're very funny and love your sense of humour. But you also work your ass off. And I don't think people kind of understand how hard you work because of the persona that maybe you had through your footy career. And people have then attached that to you and be like, oh, Daisy, he's the funny one on the coverage. He was always a little larrikin on the field and he had a crack, but geez, he was talented. Like, you work so hard in your job. And I don't think you get enough credit for how hard you work and the hours that you put in. So first of all, like, I think it's time that that's recognised. But
Thank you.
Is it hard to shake that sometimes and to be able to be yourself, because you are a very funny guy, but also to be hard hitting and to have the work prepared and come and deliver it?
Yeah, like it almost carried on from football. It used to piss me off when people were like, oh, yeah, he's talented. It's like, well, look at how hard I run both ways, all these things. So anyway, to your point, when you come out of football and obviously get then into the media, there's opportunities presented, but it's literally like going from grade 6 to high school. You go from the biggest fish in the pond to you are now the shit kicker at the bottom of the list. And it was literally like my mentality was, and I was thankful to have a good career, but it's not, one of the ones when you stack up against however many premierships and Brownlow medals and, it's credentials-wise, it wasn't as good or as sexy as some others who were coming out at similar times or who just come out. So
like an AFLW All-Australian, for example. Yeah.
So weedy. But I was like, right, cool. If you, or whatever opportunity is going to come, I'm going to go and work my ass off at it. I'll say yes to literally everything for a couple of years, bring a good attitude, be prepared, ready to work, whatever and however that may look. And, knock down the door to the point that hopefully, and that was the plan, that opportunity would come on the back of that. So, and that's, continued. My mum often reminds me to not fuck this up because my other skill set's digging holes, which is always a pleasant reminder. So thank you, Kay. But yeah, so my job is now my profession is how I sort of prepared for football and look at it like that. So I think being able to have done the work, prepared the best you can, then allows for me to be organically funny or humorous if it needs, but also then I can confidently discuss anything to a serious level when required.
I mean, that shows so much humility, I think. Coming off an elite career with two, of the biggest club, biggest sporting teams in the world, really, and not feeling like you're owed anything. And in fact, it's like, okay, we got to get back to work, you know?
Well, that's just the reality of it, though.
Totally.
And okay, mate, this is why I love Saweetie, because literally doing the same thing, but there's many who have marched the path before me, who've come out of football and, on the men's side and been able to, you can sort of do it like this, or I want to sort of be like that person a little bit. There's no one, there's a very less trodden path for you to follow, and the way you're doing it is admirable, and I absolutely love it. So that's why Saweetie and I get along so well.
We love our sweetie.
Yeah.
That's why we're sweeties.
Yeah.
Now, Big Freeze.
Yes. How good was it?
Had the honour of being one of the sliders, and in such a significant day, obviously, with the passing of Neil and then the Big Freeze that year. First, what did it mean to you to be a slider in an occasion like that?
Getting the phone call from Beck, obviously this was a couple of months ago now. It wasn't from Neil for reasons. Obviously, his health was declining and has since passed. But to get that phone call from Beck, I said the other day at a function about it, it was like, these are memories that I'm going to, in terms of pride, I vividly remember getting told I played my first game of footy, big moments in your life. This one stacks right up there in terms of sense of pride and the honour that is associated with it. And now, obviously, how big it was due to the passing of Neil, and just reflecting on what he's done. We talk about my injuries and how hard it is to navigate. Imagine being sort of told that your whole world's going to be crashing down. You've got a life expectancy of 17 to 24 months. And your first response is, well, I'm not going to go and run and hide and sit in the background and fight it. I'm going to front up and I'm going to have a foundation that isn't named after me. I'm going to call it Fight M&D, and we're going to just bloody onwards and upwards as I continue to decline, but I'm not going to shy away from anything.
Yeah.
Truly remarkable. It takes a different type of mindset, person, just, DNA that is obviously phenomenal to do that. So there's that legacy piece that everyone, I think, is reflecting on now. And what an honour to be sent down the slide. And feedback's been pretty good about the costume, which is also nice. I know you both enjoyed it, so thank you very much.
We enjoyed it greatly.
Yes.
And also for that event to be something that's just so fun.
Yeah.
It's so lighthearted. It's so fun. It's not about, I don't know, running a marathon or something like that. It's just about this, really joyful, kind of goofy and
Neil to the
expressive
end
thing. Yeah.
is hilarious, in terms of wit, humour, happy to have fun and have a laugh. And we're talking to the point, in the end, he was using AI to communicate and still taking the piss out of people.
Yeah.
Love it.
So it's sort of, his quirky way. He's like, all right, well, I'm going to send you who think you're this, and you're going into a pool of ice and sucked in. So, I feel like a perfect legacy, obviously, that he leaves, and now this is going to continue. And as you see, the sea of blue beanies throughout the MCG is one of now the most, I think, sort of the badge of honour that you don't just wear last year's beanie, you go and get this year's.
Yeah.
And that is sort of the tip of the cap in a world that's full of negativity and division.
Yeah.
Neil's legacy is continuing to bring people together.
Yeah, instead of having a G that's full of people in opposing beanies, it's all the
it's
same.
the great
It's
uniter.
the same
Yeah,
one.
it's awesome.
So cool.
Yeah, all there united to fight the cause and to raise awareness and fly the flag the way that Neil did.
Yeah.
For sure. When you talk about that, I mean, you were someone that loved to have a lot of fun at the football club that you were at.
Still do.
I think
I'm not.
we've talked to a lot of players, and the more fun you have, generally it's linked to the more success you have, really.
Yeah.
And I think when things try to get real serious, that's sometimes when people aren't their best versions of themselves.
Like the Saints
Winners-
in 2010.
Yeah,
Like the Saints in
week
2010.
2 finals.
Winners have parties, losers have meetings. That's
Yeah,
my-
wow, that's
Hey,
true.
I
Strong
like
philosophy.
that.
Yeah. One party I would have loved to be a part of was the Rat Pack parties and just the Rat Pack in general. I'm not sure if I would have survived, but it would have been fun.
Can you explain to me the Rat Pack?
Or days from the
go.
inner workings.
Look, there was a group of like-minded individuals that enjoyed a good time. And they were there long before I got to the football club. And I still, there's conjecture whether or not I'm officially a part of it, and I'm fine with that. I'm happy to be on the periphery as sort of an honorary member. I do joke that I'm not a member because I don't have a criminal conviction. These are my they pick up anything. But yeah, so it started off with Reece Shaw, Ben Johnson, Chris Tarrant, Alan Didak, Heath Shaw. So those guys all a couple of years older than me, and then Dane Swan as well. Then sort of myself, Sharad Wellingham, sort of added a little bit to it, but just guys who played good football, and then when opportunity presented, enjoyed themselves and celebrated.
Unreal.
So if we were to make you love it and list it, who are the top 3 out of the Rat Pack? Let's say you're having a party.
Oh, yeah, who's on the guest list?
Who's
top
the
3 on
the
guest
3 of them?
list?
You can only invite, so
Yeah.
you've only got enough. Tash has said you've only got spots for 3.
Standard Tash, boring.
Yeah, classic Tash. Who are the 3 you're inviting?
Who got an invite to my? Well, they all got an invite to my wedding. It's a very shit.
You did say you'd do this, so
Yeah, I know. No, I'm going to have a rotating list. I'm going to start the day with Heath, Alan, and Sharad, and I'm going to end the night with the others.
okay.
Yeah, because Dids gets boring now around midnight. Heath,
Okay.
not so much.
They can't
but
keep up,
Yeah,
but
but
yeah.
the others will happily
Yeah.
pick
Sub
up,
in and out.
So if I went there for lunch, which is something we do quite a bit,
Yep.
we've got Premiership reunions most weeks.
Must be nice.
Yeah, well, I don't get to go to all of them because a lot of the time I'm working, so I'm not sure what they do for jobs still. But yeah, it's so hard to split. And I think, honestly, when you talk about why we were such a good side, we would have the old motel, 15 blokes in a corner having a beer post-game.
Yep.
You couldn't really imagine an AFL side getting away with that one now, but it wasn't completely frowned upon. It was just we enjoyed each other's company.
Yeah.
Which, when you go then and play, it makes it a whole lot easier if you sort of all get along.
And speaking about that, the recent event, Pendles record-breaking game.
Yeah.
How was that? Because you guys were there, you used it as a bit of a reunion yourself. That must have been pretty cool to be a part of.
It was cool for so many reasons. One, Scott and I being drafted together, so a lot of the journos were ringing for sort of reflection pieces.
Is it wild to think that he's still playing?
Not even to the point of I wish that was me. So I was thinking, I'm like, how?
Glad it's
Yeah.
not.
Like, ouch, I almost get more sore. But yeah, so that was probably the first time that I'd truly reflected from sort of like under 16 to leaving Collingwood. And it was like, wow, that was, some pretty fun times. So that was cool. Obviously what he's done and just sort of, as you say, sitting here and going, how are you still playing 21 seasons in or however many it is? But then, obviously hijacking it for an opportunity to get on the gas with the boys was perfect. I got home at 10:30. Like
I'm proud of you.
We were sort of, it was a bit, because there were so many formalities, it was a little bit stop-start.
Yeah.
And they were smart. Like they didn't have beers waiting for us at every station.
Yeah, they'd learnt their lesson
They
from
had learnt their
previous
lesson.
functions.
Yeah, absolutely. They had. So clearly Nick Maxwell wasn't in charge of organising it because he would have made sure there was beers everywhere.
Yeah, true.
But that was awesome. Like what a day, what an occasion to be a part of. And we put it to Craig Kelly that obviously he passed it that week, but next week's also on
Yeah,
record.
are we doing this every
If we
week?
get 2 tables to the president's function next week, that was vetoed pretty quickly.
Daisy, we're going to finish off our episode with our favourite final segment, Extra Time.
Yes.
Just a handful of quick fire questions. Don't think about it too much and just give it to us straight between the
Do
eyes.
you mean I've been thinking? I've tricked you.
What's your coffee order?
Double shot skinny latte.
Does it change ever?
Nah. All right. If Natasha orders, it's a strong skinny latte.
Bit of pep in your step. Pie or sausage roll?
Pie.
Who was your childhood hero?
Gary Ablett Sr.
Oh, awesome.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Are you a lipstick or a chapstick man?
Chapstick.
Always?
Well, I would have worn lipstick at some stage.
Good on you.
First gig you ever went to?
Ben Harper at the Sydney Mime Music Bowl.
Oh, sick. Isn't he coming back to town?
Unsure.
I think there's like a Jack Johnson,
Yeah, that's
Ben
what it was,
Harper.
Ben Harper and Jack
Yeah,
Johnson.
there you go.
Yeah.
I feel like
Oh.
they might be doing it again. I could be wrong.
The reunion.
I could be wrong.
Perfect.
Yeah,
And
nice.
I know your first game, but tell everyone, who was your first game against? Round one, what year?
Round 1, 2006, Adelaide at whatever Marvel was called then, probably Colonial Stadium
Yeah,
or something. 'cause
2006. I wonder if it was Telstra Dome then.
It may have been.
Yeah.
I'm a dinosaur. Yeah, we lost.
Do you prefer to cook or do the dishes?
Cook. I got ADHD, like doing a chore, like he's so overwhelming. It's like, well, I've cooked and you clean. I'm like, can we just throw it out and buy new stuff?
I'll fork the bill. We're doing that.
Yeah, correct.
Do you have a dream car? What is your dream car?
Not really. Oh, no, actually, that's a lie. F100 short wheelbase, like 82 sort of model, like a big old school truck done up.
Oh,
Sounds like you're pretty
nice.
sure about what you're
Yeah.
doing.
that
I
sounds
was
specific.
thinking like Ferrari. No, not really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's a good one. And Daisy, our last question for you, just on the spot. Do you have any feedback for us on the pod?
Yes, I love yous.
Hey, we'll take it.
Thank you.
The best feedback we've received.
Yeah, for real. Thank you so much for coming on, man.
Thank you for having me.
It's been such a pleasure.
We love you.
Sweetie.
Thank you,
Sweeties.
sweeties. Thanks for listening to another episode of Al, Kate and All Their Mates. Remember, new episodes drop every Tuesday, so make sure you like, subscribe and follow to stay up to date. And make sure you tell your mates so they can become our mates.